evening and welcome to the June 7th meeting of the Board of Selectmen. If you'd all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening and welcome to the June 7th meeting of the Board of Selectmen. Thank you for those in attendance and those that have tuned in over the cable network. Any announcements this evening? Anyone? I'm going to take just a minute and recognize one of our fellow select persons up here. A little over 9 years ago, 9 years ago in April, Tammy Jo Gerard became a selectman in town, and she has decided, unless there's a big write-in campaign, she has decided to not pursue re-election. So this is her last official selectmen's meeting tonight, other than town meeting. So we want to wish her the best and thank her for her efforts around the town. And she's very soft-spoken. She doesn't speak up much. So she's been a pleasure to work with for the last 9 years. So. But anyway,
you're talking with the same person.
So anyway, we'll miss her on the board.
Thank
you.
you.
And good luck in your endeavors, whatever they may be. So.
Thank you very much. It's certainly been an experience. I've really enjoyed working with the townspeople. I've enjoyed working with the board. I'm not saying I'm going away, at least just this year. Gonna spend some time doing some stuff around the house. So
there you go.
Thank you, Tammy.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes, appreciate it. Okay, additions and deletions to the agenda. We have one addition, which is a list of what Gary has given us actually prior to the meeting on account transfers from various accounts to balance out any delinquent accounts prior to the end of the fiscal year. So I'd entertain a motion to add that to old business under item 9A.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Okay, let's get into the meat of things here. We do not have any appointments this evening. Anybody, public comments? Anybody that's not on the agenda that wishes to speak? No arms are flashing up. So, item 6, correspondence. We have our treasurer's report, Selectmen 621 public hearing notice for regulation of Parks and Rec spaces ordinance, and also Senator King's office, Your Government, Your Neighborhood. Anyone that would like a copy of those Selectmen correspondence, please get in touch with the town administrator. Reports and staff initiatives, Selectmen reports. So we'll ask Tammy Jo to go first. Nothing?
nothing to
Your
report.
last? Gordon?
All set.
And John?
Garden Committee met last night. 9 members met out in the, actually in the garden. And it was a pretty interesting, vigorous meeting, discussion on a bunch of issues. The most important piece, though, was they just had the plant sale. And with Osby Meadows Garden Club. And the plant sale yielded a little over $1,230. A lot of work went into that. I realized that because I joined them a few times for a couple of hours here and a couple of hours there, but a lot of people put in, 10, 15 hours on that. They dug up a load of plants, potted them, and then got tables set up, and a lot of work. But it paid off. It was a nice people, and people showed up. So there was discussions about pest control out there. We transported a woodchuck a couple of weeks ago, and they'll be back along with skunks and coyote and whatever. The fence right now needs to be shored up, or actually the bottom of it comes off the ground so an animal can squeeze into the garden in a whole bunch of different places, and you'll never know where he came from. So the first thing that the committee's going to do is to put in stakes and stake that fence down, and then any animal that comes in needs to dig their way in, and if they dig their way in, you know where they came from, so you can put traps and stuff there. So anyway, a lot of discussion about that, a lot of discussion about people that have bought beds in the past and not weeded them, and let the garden grow wild, and that causes problems for people with adjoining gardens, because you get the weeds go to seed, and the seed blows over into another person's garden. So some issues were talked about there on how to get people to take a little bit better care of their gardens. It was an upbeat night. There's a lot of work to be done. But you go out there and you think about what it looked like 3 years ago, and you think, man, this place is looking very good. But they're not. The committee is not satisfied with the way it looks now. They want to do a lot more work. So.
Good. Anything else, John?
That's it.
Okay. The only thing I have is Regional Waste Systems annual meeting. Not Regional Waste, Eco-Main's, dating myself. Eco-Main's meeting, annual meeting will be next Thursday, the 16th, 11:30 to 1:30. So if anybody's interested in going, I know Clint typically goes. I don't know if you're interested in going, Gary. That
I may.
It's a big tent set up in a parking lot and whatnot. So it's a fairly informative meeting. So that's all I have. Town Administrator's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Transfer station bids went out recently for hauling, and we sent out 12 packets to individual haulers. We had 4 bids submitted today, so could have been better, but that was not bad. And Clint reviewed the details this afternoon. We'll give you all the figures for your next meeting 2 weeks from tonight, but it was very clear that our existing hauler, D&E, was the low bidder. That will probably be the recommendation you hear. You see some new things outside the town hall tonight. A trailer and a big box that's there for storing materials, another dumpster out there to take the shingles off the roof. Stripping and roofing may start before the end of this week, but certainly next week in earnest, and they will probably be here about a month, depending on the weather. We had cement poured down at the salt shed building site yesterday. The footings were poured. Our Public Works Department has a lot of work to do to get ready for the wooden beams that are going to be delivered early, weeks early. So we're probably going to have to import some more equipment and get that ready for staging for the beams can be put together. But so far so good in terms of the work progress on the salt shed. I have 12 applications for Christina's former position. I probably will interview 3 to 5. I don't know right now. I still have some more phone calls to make and talk to references. That's it from me tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions of Gary? Anyone on the board? All right, let's move into new business. Item A, discussion concerning ATV Snowmobile Club's concerns about recent trail closures and possible solutions. So I know we have the ATV Club here, which is it's their season currently, so I guess they'll take the lead on this, but
You have a representative from the Snowmobile Club here as well.
pardon?
Yeah.
You do have the Snowmobile Club here as well.
Represent both.
You do?
Landowner relations
for both clubs here, so.
I thought you just hung out and drank coffee down at the,
Yeah, we buy it.
So good evening. I'm Todd Abbott, president of the Osprey Mountain ATV Club. and Roger Latender is our landowner relations for the ATV Club and as well as the Ospey Mountaineers Snowmobile Club. Last year, we had a piece of property, would be map 11, lot 30-9, and map 11, lot 30. That was a 160-acre parcel, which you can see. I don't know if it's all right for me to walk over here. Thank you. So ultimately, what we've done, or what the town has done for the ATV Club and Snowmobile Club, is when they did their GIS, their 2020 vision, part of the deal that Sewell worked out for us was they were able to put a GIS system together for all of our. This is GIS system that came from Sewell Company. Okay, both the ATV Club and the Snowmobile Club provided Tom with those maps, and then Tom in turn had Sewell Company go and digitize all of those. If you go to the town's website, you can see this on the GIS site. But anything that's labeled as orange down here in the corner is basically just snowmobile, and anything that is dotted with red dots is an ATV trail. Anything that's red and orange is both multi-use. Okay. This parcel, the two parcels that we're talking about, ultimately start essentially right here. No, right here. This is where the single pole line is. Okay. Basically, this trail that comes down along here is on a gentleman's named Bill Deering. He's been gracious of us enough to let us run on that trail system for 20, 30 years. At least the Snowmobile Club has been in existence for that long, and then the ATV Club has been in existence 8+ years, and he's been very willing to let us use that. But ultimately, when this piece of property here got sold, that is a major trail system, and that basically connects the north end of town to the east end of town. So right now we are very much landlocked. So what we have done, Roger and I have spent some time, we went out and GPS, and what you see is, this is a green line, currently Deering Ridge Road. And basically right at the very point, very top there, is where the existing trail goes in. It's an old, right now there's a green gate in front of the property. They just recently paved the driveway. But basically we've lost access crossing that road. Foglio owns the piece of property that abuts that. At the very top, right here in this corner, is Panoramic Drive. We have contacted, I guess, landowners. There's a house here, 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 here. We have done everything that we can to contact landowners in the surrounding areas to try and get access back out onto Deering Ridge Road at a much closer location to where we're exiting, which is right there. So we've come to a solution that we have no solution, and we're asking the town for help. And again, I was involved with the 2020 committee and kind of saw that the future of ATVing and snowmobiling is eventually going to go away in some senses as landowners buy their property and unfortunately might not necessarily understand the laws that the state of Maine have to protect those landowners from liabilities. So we have, if we basically fail all the way around, this is landlocked lobster pound, where the pond is. Billy Deering owns all of this land down and around here, okay? We have talked to Billy. He is willing to let us go through there. However, there's a 30-foot ledge that we would have to blast through in order to go through there. It becomes very costly. That landowner also has a barn and pieces of equipment on his property and isn't really open to letting us use his property, but it might be an avenue if we can't get anywhere with going through the town. So basically, there's two different routes here. This is the first thing that we're going to discuss. This is the solution to the problem. Ultimately, we would be able to run Deering Ridge Road from where the trail currently exits, where the green gate is, and would be able to run all the way to basically Bennett Hill Road, which connects to the double pole line. So the green line would become the new trail that would be access on the road. There is also another access route that may be possible, which would come down Townhouse Road into East Shore Road and ride along, and then pop out on East Shore Road, come down through the intersection, across to go to McLucas Road and back across the street. Keeping in mind that this intersection is a very busy intersection, and what we're trying to do is, we ultimately don't want to create more issues, we're trying to alleviate issues. Talked briefly a little bit with Gary. The town does own a piece of property where we're sitting right now, and this trail that goes out to the lake is basically Lakeside Market. There's a very small piece of land the Hurleys own in between the town and Lakeside Market. If we can get Hurleys to go along with it, that would make the most sense for everybody involved. We're keeping ATVs out of the intersection. We're getting them over to Lakeside, which is the main goal. People need food, gas, that type of thing. So this is the preliminary. This is the two only options that we have. Unfortunately, our club does not promote ATV riding on roads. We do not have any road access other than what we've been utilizing that comes on Ossipee Hill Road that connects McLucas Road to around Denby's Field. Other than that, we have no access. In those areas that we have had access, we've had no issues. Both Sean, contract deputy, and also the warden, local warden, has brought to our attention that Lake Arrowhead used to be no ATVs. Now it currently, I believe what Sean told me was that ATVs are now allowed on the road. What we're having is issues is people are currently running that road. They're running Deering Ridge Road from where that trail used to go, and they're running it all the way to Bennett Hill Road. What's happening now is it's illegal, so they're riding much faster than what they should be allowed to do. Access routes are typically 15 miles an hour. 15 miles an hour is fine. I sometimes would question whether or not 15 miles an hour on such a long route is a good idea. 20 might be a little bit better of an idea, because ultimately our goal here is to make it legal for those people to do it and make sure that they're not going to run. Because ultimately what in turn can happen is if somebody's riding on the road, they know they're illegal, they're going to turn and they're going to run from an officer, game warden, or whatever. Now we have a high-speed chase. We have more issues that will occur. Ultimately, both Jake and Sean have contacted me and tried to get us to do this next step, which is come to the town, get approval. As people are aware, ATVs kind of erode the side of a road, so it would be our recommendation that we try and make sure that we keep everybody on the pavement as opposed to having them ride on the shoulder. If there are areas where the town may own a certain amount of footage from the center of the road and the ditch leads itself to have a nice trail off to the side, I don't know that the ATV clubs would be opposed to that. I mean, ultimately, we're trying to get people. Our best route is through the woods, same as snowmobiles. We don't want to be riding on highways. That's why we have off-road equipment, so that we can go do those things. So ultimately, right now, that's where we're at. Dave, if you can switch to slide 2. Yeah, so this is a view of East Waterboro. What you are currently looking at, is that East Waterboro? Yes, that's East Waterboro. So the big opening that you see down in the bottom right-hand corner, that is Dearborn's gravel pit. We have a trail that rides right along beside Dearborn's and comes out right at the transfer station currently. And basically we'd be looking, and this would be for businesses, and again, a goal I think for our community would be to have businesses be interconnected into this recreation that we have in our community. So basically what you see is green is a proposed road route that would allow you to be able to drive down Bennett Hill Road. It would be able to get you to Napa, so anybody breaks down, they have the ability to go get to Napa. They currently have access to Abbott's Power Equipment with the trail that comes down right around Dearborn's Pit. You can see a trail that comes down to 202. That comes out directly across from Abbott's Power. Dunkin' Donuts, Flippin' Good, all of those businesses that are right there along Main Street, JD's Package Store, those are all businesses that I feel that would benefit. I do have a list of current businesses that are already utilizing or taking advantage of the trail system that exists. Lakeside Market is currently one of these. Town Line Deli is one. Abbott's Power, Blast from the Past. Newly to open next week will be Town Line Family Restaurant, which is at the intersection of 5 and 202. There's currently a trail that runs right to Ed's Grove, so they're going to have access there as well. So we're very well connected to some businesses in the area, and we're not as connected to other businesses in the area. I don't want to get sidetracked and focus on these other things, but ultimately, if we're going to start to talk about ATV access on roads, this may very well be something else that we kind of throw into the mix and see if it's something that we can't generate some further business for businesses in the community. Can you go to slide 3 as well? Okay, so this is slide 3. This really relates to South Waterboro up towards Ross Corner area. Currently, the Snowmobile Club has access through the Nature Conservancy. And if you can see the very dotted line, this dotted line is Ossipee Hill Road. This is the trail that goes to the tower. That point right there is the tower. This trail that comes up here is McLucas Road Extension, which again is what the Snowmobile Club is currently using. This is Ross Corner Road right here. So they're coming down Ross Corner, they're crossing from McLucas Road, turning onto Ross Corner Road, and then they're driving down through past Ledgemere Dam and into the Nature Conservancy. Nature Conservancy is all up in here. Basically, with municipal grants that the town has been very gracious and helped us with, we have been able to get this pole line, the double pole line, finished all the way from Fort Ridge Road, which is in Alfred, all the way to 117. So that is a major trunk line of trail that will, as long as everything continues the way it has been, it will never go anywhere. It's owned by CMP, and CMP is who we hold the signature with. So that being said, we invested quite a bit of money right down here in this area to cross a wet area. That is Blueberry Road. The green line that we have got put in there is Blueberry Road. And that, where you see it takes a hard right-hand corner, is essentially right almost the Ross Corner. I mean, this intersection right here is the four-way intersection at Ross Corner. If we were able to run Blueberry Road from this location here, it gets us over into our Shapley Trail system. Probably about 3 years ago, the ATV Club has been very friendly with the Square Pond ATV Club, and they sort of went defunct. So we took over 30 miles of trail that they have. So basically, we have 30 miles of trail over here. We have 30 miles of trail down from the lake down this way, and we have another 30 miles of trail up over here that's not connected. So we currently have somewhere close to about 90 miles of trail with 3 different trail systems. You have to park and ride at each one of those locations. You can park and ride at our current clubhouse. You can park and ride on top of Chadbourne Ridge Road. There's a nice parking area up there. And to utilize the Square Pond Trail system that we have, people have been parking at Boonies. So ultimately, these are kind of 3 primary areas that would greatly benefit the ATV community, I think, as well as the snowmobile community as well. Ultimately, the map 11, 30-9, and 30 are a major stopping point for us. I mean, we're now basically a split club. You park and ride here, you park and ride there. But again, you still have the road riders, people who are not involved with clubs, people who are looking to get from point A to point B the fastest way they can get are currently using those roads. Sean has spent 2 or 3 weekends on Deering Ridge Road trying to get that closed for now. We've removed signage, we've posted that the road is closed, but again, it still is continuing. I think it's not continuing as much as it was a month ago, but so I guess that's where we are at. These last 2 slideshows that we showed you, one of Blueberry Road and one of Bennett Hill Road, which is down in East Waterboro, would be nice. Not as much of a priority or of a concern of ours to be able to connect, but by doing that, at least Blueberry Road, Blueberry Road is a major connector. Townhouse Road or Deering Ridge Road are major connectors. The Bennett Hill Road would be great. It would access some of the businesses in East Waterboro community, but the other 2 trail systems would continue. One would continue connectivity and one would expand our connectivity. So, anybody have any questions?
Do I understand you want to be going down East Shore Road?
That is a proposed route, correct?
Because that is a very windy road, and we've had I've had near misses with a few that have come around the corner.
Right. And again, so there is no trail there now.
No, there's none, they just put
Right.
the road.
So again, from what I'm understanding from the law enforcement perspective and also from the club's perspective and trying to protect the club riders and also the landowners that are in the community, I mean, we want to make things good for the community. We don't want mud on our face either, right? But ultimately, and I think we'd like to get Sean in here at some point to talk about how Lake Arrowhead has basically been turned around a little bit. Because when it was illegal to ride ATVs in Lake Arrowhead, people were riding the roads at a much higher rate of speed. When it's legal and it's posted at 15 miles an hour, they know they're legal. They're not going to try and get through the location as quick as they can, not get caught. And that's the perspective that we're looking at.
Ossipee Hill's a good look point. They do 15 on that road. You don't see them flying because that's a legal road that we can travel down. So they tend to keep the speed at 15 miles an hour.
Who's to keep them from speeding? We're on the back road, we're a private road.
Ultimately, I think with the fact that both Sean, Deputy Sanborn, and Jake Scott have both, they are getting inundated with stuff that they don't want to deal with right now because it's all happening illegally. So I think when they contacted both Roger and I, they're really looking for us to try and come up with a solution that's going to alleviate some of those issues. And again, like I said, I think that ultimately this is probably going to be a lengthy discussion over the course of time here. There's a couple of things. Again, Gary and I spoke briefly about possibly coming through the town property over into Lakeside Market instead of having to get people through the intersection. Again, our goal isn't to try and get people to have access everywhere. We just want to maintain connectivity to what we currently have.
Try to maintain the trails we have access to right now.
Well, just a question because we are a very.
Oh, absolutely.
People
Yeah.
tell you,
It gets crowded, it gets,
Oh, yeah.
people are not
especially when
exactly
we're
going
fishing.
Right.
slow.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And ultimately, done a lot of riding throughout the state of Maine. Bingham, I think Greenville has got road access. Rangeley's got road access. Bingham has road access. Jackman has road access. There are a number of communities. And again, to kind of bring the 2020 committee back into this a little bit, is the future growth of our town. We're in a very fortunate situation because we're very south. And we, like I said, we have almost 90 miles of trail. That's huge. Our parking lot is usually full every Saturday and Sunday with people that are coming here to ride. So there is an economic boom that is happening, and I think that may very well be able to continue further if we, in turn, had a little bit more connectivity to some of the other businesses. Doesn't mean that we're looking for only road access. Landowners are the key. I mean, basically, if we get landowner permission, we'd much rather be in the woods than we would be on the road. But unfortunately, when you're riding along and you've been riding for 30 miles or so, you come to a paved road, you take a left and you keep going. I mean, we need to try and make it a little bit more legal, or a little bit bring the population up to speed a little bit more.
So the first step here, I think, is going to be a town ordinance, right? I mean, for the town to provide approval, it has to go through, the way I understand the state law is the state law allows it, but only if there's permission from the town.
Correct.
The only thing that the vehicle that we would use for permission would be an ordinance, right?
Yeah.
So we really need to see if we can get there's towns all around that have ordinances, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
maybe not in southern Maine, but
Downtown,
certainly.
actually.
So, then I think we need to vet out all of the options here, right? To see, do we restrict certain sections, do we restrict certain roads, do we, or do we just say, because ultimately you're gonna identify a trail,
Correct.
be it on the road or be it in the woods. It's gonna be identified by either the snowmobile club or the ATV club as a designated trail. If that happens to be on a state road, town road, state aid road, whatever the case may be, it's still gonna be, there's gonna be signage up and it's gonna be identified.
Right. If it's a state aid road, the state requires that we put up a street sign. So you get away from the small plastic signs that are ATV signs, and you get into a much more of a road sign, the yellow diamond with ATV access route along those lines. So, and again, the ATV club gets funding. The funding that we get does not allow us to spend that money on roads. It just basically means we wouldn't be reimbursed for the money that we spend on the roads. We have many volunteer hours that we accumulate over the season, and we get our full amount of money every year. So how we spend that money is kind of up to us, and if it gives us access, then ultimately that's what we're after.
So without solving this tonight, because we won't solve it tonight, but when is the next step to look at an ordinance that maybe you guys can share with Gary, or Gary can share with you, and say where is it that we need to go? Because I think we're going to then end up with some public hearings where people that live on a particular road, like East Shore Road, if that happens to be one of the designated ones, that they're certainly going to want to speak their piece,
Right.
or whatnot. So.
And the other thing that occurs a little bit too is that you have landowners that purchase ATVs. Well, they may not be anywhere near connected to an ATV trail, right? I mean, you see it all along Old Alfred Road. There's a few people that own ATVs along Old Alfred Road, and they'll hop out onto the pavement and they'll putt down to the road. And usually over the course of time, it really hasn't become a big deal. But again, this is what they're currently doing is a major section of road, a lengthy section of road, and because it is illegal, people are traveling way too fast. I've talked to people on the road that have complained about it, and they have commented that don't have a problem with the ATVs. It's just the speed that they're coming. You can't be seeing somebody coming at 50.
John, you had a question?
The ordinance as it comes down, I see like the East Shore Road being, having homes pretty close to the road, and maybe there's an evening, maybe it's close to ATV, and after 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night or something like that. The other question that came up is the Townhouse Road. You get some big trucks coming down through there. Is that a safety issue with it?
So again, the Townhouse Road and East Shore Road route that we're talking about has been illegally being used for 20 years. There's an ATV trail existing on the side of Townhouse Road that runs along up the side of the road all the way to East Shore Road. The trail actually goes beyond East Shore Road, and there's a trail that goes down through the woods and it connects. It's about midway down through East Shore Road. what we've done to show you is basically all of East Shore Road. It's not including that trail system, it's just running East Shore Road. But there is, and currently being used, right, by ATVs, you know, so.
Yeah, but, you know, I think one of the issues you have to think about is primarily shore also, is that, yeah, there are some illegal ones, but there's not, right now, at least from what I see, there's not an abundance of them.
Correct.
You make it legal, and all of a sudden you have an abundance of them, whether they go in 15 miles an hour. I mean, I guess from a personal point of view, I'd rather just be careful, have someone go 40 miles an hour and get off it, than I would have someone going 15 miles an hour, 24 hours a day, legally.
That's a very valid point. To my defense, I've kind of been a little bit more on the try to stay away from the 15 mile an hour deal because of that issue. If you come up on an ATV that's only doing 15 miles an hour, now you have an obstacle. You come up along an ATV that's doing the same speed as you are, 30 or below, you're not waiting to get around the car or waiting to get around the ATV. You're not looking for a place to pass them. And again, I think that in certain areas there might be different restrictions. Again, Ospey Hill Road, we've had very good luck at 15 miles an hour, but it's a stretch of 500 yards as opposed to a 2.5 mile run or a 1.5 mile run, right?
Maybe there's access we could get from Orlando and possibly to get off some of that road.
To get back to my point originally was that as people buy ATVs and they are not connected to the system, they quickly find their way out onto the road to get down to the next location.
Do you see possibly some restrictions in some areas as far as time of night? Because, you know, you're making.
I guess I don't see why anybody would be opposed to that. I do. Right, exactly. I know that Jackman has a dusk curfew for anybody riding on 201. All the trails are still wide open, and you can run the trails, but anything that's on 201 is closed at dusk. So it is possible other locations have done things like that. And I don't know that you could, I suppose it would make, like Jackman's trail system, their map when you get it says specifically, you cannot run 201 after dusk, you know. There's other roads that you can run, but 201 is identified right on their map system. Currently, there is a map that both ATV and Snowmobile Club have got pulled together, have all sponsors all listed, but because we've lost this major connector, we have not printed that map. So we're in a position where, I mean, quite honestly, we can start and make everything very clean.
A lot of these communities put a painted insignia on the pavement so that everybody knows, in addition to the signage you were talking about.
Yeah.
The 15 mile an hour works very well in a downtown situation for the Rangeleys, the Greenvilles, and the other towns up there that do that, because most of that time it's a 25 mile an hour zone.
Absolutely.
You might want to bump that up a little if you're on a higher speed road to 20 or 25.
Well, that's, and again, when Roger and I went out and we're doing the GPSing, we're driving along and we were having a conversation on what speed it should be. So I slowed to 15 miles an hour. How long do you want to do this for? I mean, and again, you're going for a long distance. And, again, we're talking to people of the community as well, trying to get public feedback and trying to figure out what people think. One of the things was 15 miles an hour is too slow, Downtown, obviously 15 miles an hour, you don't want to go more than that, right? But I guess I think there's room for discussion there. I think that it should be discussed.
My biggest fear is that if we go 40 or 50,
No.
ATVs are not designed for that.
Correct.
Okay, so my biggest thing is 30.
I even think 30 is too fast. I would be fine with 25.
It's kind of pushing because these machines are designed to be on rough terrain. Snowmobiles, well, a different story,
My personal point of view, those, you can make it 15, you can make it 40, you can make it 50. You're not going to be able to enforce it.
That's not true.
So
if we start having problems, the sheriff and the wardens would like to.
Come on up to the mic, please.
Sorry. The wardens and the sheriff have already told us that if there are problems in certain areas like that, they will concentrate it. They will hit it. Because now they have a speed limit that they can work on. And they can check their speed and they'll tag them. It's going to be awful hard to run off of that little road that loop and try to get away when they can set up traps and,
How
two
many
wardens.
How many sheriffs cover Waterboro right now?
well, you got the sheriffs and the wardens department, you know, you could have
So
3
both
wardens
of
here.
them combined, how many are there?
2.
But,
How many trails you got running?
Yeah, but if we're having a problem on East Shore Road, they can start hammering that for a couple of days, next couple of weekends, and they will slow it down.
We have a lot of work to do to prepare more
Yeah.
documents and more information, so
Okay.
these are all good points, and there's a lot more work to do,
Yeah, I
a lot
understand.
more public hearing.
I live on the third portion of East Shore Road. And I drive East Shore Road every day.
Come right up to the mic, please, sir. People back home want to see you, hear your voice.
Say, I live on the third portion of East Shore Road. Drive it every day. I drive the whole road every day. I don't go over 20 miles an hour on the road, period. Because there's too many twists and turns on that road, number one. But I'm not crazy about having my section of road opened up as a trail. I mean, I used to live up on Clough Lane, and the guys who lived next door to me on Clough Lane, they had ATVs, and all they did was tear up the road. And spend about $1,000 just to repair the road one time. Guys, you know, he sold his house, moved away.
Yeah, I think it's premature to say it's gonna be East Shore Road or whatever. And as far as the town is concerned, East Shore Road is a private road, except for one section of it, so I'm not sure that we can say, I mean, you gotta make peace with the Lincoln
Right,
Road.
no, we understand, that's why I mentioned a few minutes ago that if we could find landowners that would have an option of us getting off the road possibly and using their land, I mean, for both snowmobile and ATV, you know, it'd be great. But, that's where it's at, I mean, if,
Lean in the back at him.
Yes, I didn't come here, I didn't even know this was gonna be going. I bought the piece of land that, you know, you were talking about on Deering Ridge.
What's that?
I bought the
Oh,
piece of land
yeah.
that you're talking about on Deering Ridge.
Yeah.
In fact, the path that has been gated
Yes.
is part of my property. And I gotta say, you guys have been very lax.
What do you mean?
Well, my husband has gone down there, he finally went down, and he's the one that put up the small sign that said that the road is gated. You had so many very upset people because nobody put a sign up at that intersection telling them that it was gated. They would get down in there, they had trouble turning around, they came back out, they didn't know where to go, they were coming through my backyard, they were coming through the back of my property, and it took a long time.
This is
And you
Hatch,
guys, yes.
yeah, I'm sorry about that. I
And you
thought
guys
about
knew that it was gonna be closed. You know, that's why I couldn't understand why
Right.
somebody wasn't up there.
We thought they'd turn around because we'd gone back a few times and checked it. And they
Oh,
always turned
but
around
the
at
whole
gate.
thing is that they get down to the gate, they'd turn around, and then they didn't know where to go.
Unfortunately, we've had a couple of issues.
Yeah, and then
Well,
also
I'll
the
take-
problem on Deering Ridge, I come out of my driveway, I'm on Cortland. I come out of my driveway one day, and it's a very sharp corner. I came around that corner, and I was face to face with 2 ATVs coming at me in the wrong lane. They
Yeah.
were coming at me in my lane.
no,
So I know where you're coming from. I know what's going on there.
Mhm.
It does sound, and I'm saying sound. I don't see these things,
Mhm.
but it does sound like it's improving a little bit.
yeah.
But I will say there has been some lax.
Well, unfortunately, I'll speak a little bit for the club because we've had a rogue person who lives in and about Deering Ridge Road that posted signage on our trail system that was allowing or that was telling people where to drive. So there was a blue sign that somebody had handwritten that were telling people to ride along the side of Deering Ridge Road, drive slow, drew a map, take a right. Both the warden and the sheriff have both talked to that person. And again, we went and took care of signage and done everything that we could at that point in time. Again, to some extent, we were a little bit not very quick in moving because we were talking to that landowner and he was promising us that we were going to have a trail. So Roger and I spent hours GPSing a new trail system through his property that basically skirted the back side of the property And he seemed very, very willing to do something. So again, we were kind of, snowmobile season started. Snowmobile Club got permission to go through there last year. They've lost permission this year, so they have no access this year as well. So again, unfortunately, we are a little bit on the back side of this, but it isn't all, it's accumulation of a bunch of different things that have all happened.
Yeah, I mean, it irritated a lot of your riders. I mean, it wasn't bothering me that much until they started driving like that through the
Well, I'll take care of that for you. I'm gonna go this weekend. Right at your corner property, I'll remove all the signs and we'll put trails.
I think somebody can
Mr.
put a few
Chairman,
signs, but you need
Can we
one
move this
on
forward?
that
This is
trail.
stuff that's better debated at a
Just
public
so they
hearing, and
went
we're,
down there.
So we're gonna move forward here, and we're not, as I said earlier, we're gonna solve this tonight, so I guess the next step is for us to look at ordinance language and for you guys to sit with Gary and look at what might work, and then I think we're gonna have to have some public hearings where people can have some input, and then we go from there, but we're not gonna resolve it tonight, and this was kind of a first step, so.
Yeah.
And I think I assume there's a willingness with this board to help solve some of this, so we'll move forward.
Yes.
Okay?
Thanks to the people who came.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right,
Good perspectives, thank you.
thank you, Roger, Todd.
Have a good night.
All right, next step, next item. Discuss possible vote concerning the food pantry building design is approval as required by the lease. Leo.
Yes. I owe you an apology in a way because I've been following exactly what I was told to do. And I was told last time that I needed to get the plans and get my permit. I thought that Glenn would show you the plans before they were approved, but he thought you'd already approved them, so that's why he pulled our permit. So now this, we did make a few changes on there because we needed an extra door for the main hall part to be up to code and so forth.
Okay.
So accordingly, this is all up to code and no problems there.
So we did initially issue permits?
Yes.
They submitted, just so the board knows, they submitted a permit for having a vinyl sided building, white vinyl, I assume white, but vinyl sided building.
Tom made a mistake when he did it up, and he says he didn't think the siding was a big deal because people change their mind a half a dozen times.
Okay.
But we never changed our minds.
Right. And the permit was issued, and then conversation happened later rather than earlier that the lease requires the design and what they're doing over there to come before you folks and be approved in concept.
Okay.
So that's where we are now.
we're not discussing a vinyl siding, we're discussing board and batting.
Correct.
If that's a problem, we could get the vinyl that looks just like it.
No, I don't see it's a problem, I just want to know
Yeah.
what I'm going to...
We would prefer to go with board and bat because it is less expensive. And right now, we have a lot of expenses to build the pantry.
It will be a reverse board and batten. You're familiar with a reverse board and batten?
Yep.
Okay, so it's basically a shiplap with, and it's a recess instead of another applied surface piece. So I'm going to be the kind of project
Clerk of
manager.
They met the mic, please.
Yeah, I'm going to be the project manager for these for building the building.
What is your name, sir?
George Harnoy, Harnois. I'm a retired builder from Massachusetts.
What's the life expectancy on this type of siding versus vinyl? 'Cause I'm-
What's up? Reverse it, wood and bat? Well, my house has got it on it right now, and I think it was built in '78, and it's still in great shape. I mean, they mill it. What's it? Hammond Lumber mills it. It's fine.
So it's not, it's a milled product.
It's a milled product.
It's not two boards with a
Right,
strip of
that's
batting
right.
on it. it's milled.
It's a milled
It's
product.
milled
right?
into the siding.
Correct.
Oh, sorry.
Color, gonna be painted, stained?
Color's up to her. I'm just
It's
gonna.
going to have preservative. We're going to try to keep it the same color as the wood. Put preservative on it to keep it. And some of the volunteers volunteered to put the preservative on it prior to being put on the building.
Metal roof.
Yes,
Color of the roof?
green. Heritage, the Wrights are donating the roof.
I just want to say that, conceptually, I think that this is absolutely wonderful. I think that this is, and Cleo and I did talk a little bit in the parking lot, and she's right. It's homey, it's comfortable, it's inviting. It's not just kind of a metal prefab building. It has some character. I think this is a lovely building, and I'm very pleased to see that this is the design that the pantry is looking to go to. I think that this is wonderful for the community.
Thank you. Well, we wanted something that the people wouldn't feel threatened.
Zoom right in there, David. So we're looking at a 36 by 24 full
Yes.
basement
Yes,
building
yes,
in this porch out in the front,
yes.
right? Which I would presume is facing town.
The road.
Now, as far as the doors go,
The doghouse is in the back.
is there big enough door that you can get a freezer in there?
There'll be no freezers in the cellar, but they would be, correct?
Or a big cooler if you wanted to get a...
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if you need in the back a larger door.
We're gonna put. It calls for a 3.0 door. I'm gonna try to get a 3.6 door for the front door, so that they can, get larger items in and out.
I agree with
Yeah.
Tammy. It's a great.
Thank you.
The design is.
We worked a
I
long
guess we
time to
can't
try to
com-
find something
Can't complain with that.
that would blend right in.
And we have a plot plan or where the building's gonna go here.
That hasn't changed much.
No, it's still,
At all.
and Dana Libby will come out as soon as we get the permit and we can get our excavator and the foundation guy to set a date. He will come and put the dots right where the building's gonna be, so there won't be any mistakes. He's already agreed to that.
All right?
And
So-
we've lost out on people because we lost our permit. So right now we have somebody almost lined up, so they said, give us a date that you get your permit and then we'll let you know when we can do it.
I would make a motion that we approve the design as presented.
I second that.
Any discussion beyond that? All right, so if there's substantial change, you're gonna come back, right?
Definitely. But as far, we've made all our changes on papers, haven't we?
We've got all the corrections made. Yes.
We made all our mistakes on paper.
All right. Any discussion? Sensing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Now, do I have to go back and see Glenn to get the
Yeah.
permit
We'll-
again?
We'll talk to him tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay. So how soon would the
I'll see him
permit-
first thing in the morning, and essentially, we should be good. I don't know if he's got to do some more paperwork or not. We'll
Well,
talk
he's
that
got the plans, because we left the plans with
Yes,
him.
yep.
All right,
Well, thank you very much.
good enough?
Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
Great.
All right, item C under new business. Discussions with a local surveyor and possible vote regarding portion old Route 202 right-of-way discontinuance. Now you've got me really confused.
Well, let me give you a little background on this. One of the sheets that Gary printed out, which should have been 11 by 17, but it ended up being smaller. You all have one of those? Yeah. That's a copy of my survey. And The reason that Jim Joyce hired me is because his mom, Margaret Joyce, wanted to have a legal lot prepared to be put into a trust. Now, each one of those gray buildings is actually a structure. So there's three residences on one parcel of land right now, which according to Jim and according to the tax rolls, it's been okay with the town. But it's contrary to, I believe, the ordinance in town. And that's one thing that I'm trying to correct by this discontinuance. So the green line is what I had to come up with for a legal lot, which is very unorthodox for a piece of boundary. But in order to get the 40,000 square feet, that's what I had to do. That will change if this section of 202 gets reverted back to the abutter in a discontinuance. You can see in front of the house that's in the green block, that area that is not colored in is the current right-of-way of Route 202. So it jogs in within 30 feet of her house. And it is about 150 feet from the actual roadway. So in my discussions with Jim, I said, wow, we should try to get this discontinued. I had never petitioned the state for a discontinuance, so this is new to me as well. But I sent some mock-up plans to the state to a fellow Joe Barry, who I know very well up in right-of-way, and he forwarded them to a fellow Pete Belanger, who's in the real estate. He's head of the real estate division of the state, and he sent them to engineers. And what came back from them is the 11 by 17 copy that I've put together, that's highlighted in yellow, is what they are willing to discontinue. But the problem is the state does not own the road. The town owns the road. And everybody's looking.
How does the town own Route 202?
Back in the late 80s or early 90s, the county, all the original county layouts, which were county owned, the counties in Maine decided they didn't want to be in the land business anymore. So what they did is they just blanketly conveyed all of the road beds back to the respective towns. And most people don't even know this. I didn't even know it until I started this discontinuance. So Pete Belanger sent me an email back, and he said that all the town has to do is agree to this discontinuance. And the state will then work with the town. The state will prepare all the deeds for conveyance, and I would assume that it would be a conveyance from the town of Waterboro to James Joyce in this instance. I don't know that for a fact, but I would assume
So this triangular piece that comes down in here,
yeah,
is where this yellow
yes,
piece fits into that.
yes.
Man.
Moved.
Yeah, and I had proposed a 33-foot taking from the center line. They decided to go with a 40-foot taking because of the bridge at Hamilton Brook. They needed more space down there with the approach to the bridge. And I said, that's fine. Now, there's going to be a couple of issues with CMP. There's a couple of poles that you see that are going to be within the Joyce's property if the continuance goes through. A couple of ways that could be handled with an easement, although I don't know that CMP likes to create easements if they don't have to, so CMP may end up just moving the poles. And I don't know if that's going to be at Jim's expense
Yeah.
or
So
but that's,
where are they gonna put the pole?
they'll just move them right out to the
road?
road. Yeah. Or they can leave them where they are and just do, you know, Jim doesn't have any problem if they just, you know, write an easement and he will allow the poles to remain there because it's really the objective of this is to get square footage of land so that we can create 3 legal lots for 3 residences
So
on this property.
when you look at this, your map,
Mhm.
the 3 gray blocks, one is the mobile home, I would presume that's to the
On the right.
northerly side, right to
Yep.
the right.
Yep.
And there's a smaller building that is right under the Merrill G. Martin to Eugene and Margaret Joyce,
Yeah.
okay? And then the other one is the one extremely to the left, and what is the lot that's hatch marked?
That Jim uses that area. He's got shelters and he's kind of been in the firewood business. And he really didn't want to lose use of that area. So I created an exclusive use easement specifically for him.
So that's got nothing to do with the lot boundary,
No, it does not.
but the green
The green,
that
yes.
you've got running all the way to the brook,
Yes.
25 foot wide.
And it narrows down to 4 feet wide
Yeah.
behind his house.
That is crazy.
Yep. It is. But it's the only way that I could configure it to get
So-
40,000 square feet.
All right, so if this changes, and this becomes, the land reverts back to the landowner, we'll say,
Mm-hmm.
then you don't have to do this funky thing in the back?
No, that all goes away. In fact, I will be configuring. He has also picked up everything south of Hamilton Brook. He's in the process of buying it from Mr. Wood.
So is all of this under one ownership right now?
Yes.
Not that. No.
It's under Eugene and
you're,
Margaret
you're
Joyce.
you're going to create 3. You can't create a substandard lot, so you got to create 3 legal lots.
Lots. And with the acquisition of the land from south of Hamilton Brook, the 2 parcels there from Mr. Wood, we'll have enough land to do that.
So Wood's property crosses the brook today.
Yes,
That's strange.
it is strange. But I'm gonna create the common boundary line at the center line of Hamilton Brook, which I've done, which will separate the 2 parcels.
So is this something we need to have legal review on first?
We need to talk about the concept. If you wanted to go forward, then we could get things prepared by DOT, and then that would go to Natalie.
Yeah, I would guess that.
I never talked money with anybody,
What's your
Steve included, so
Yeah.
I mean, if the DOT is offering to create the documents, other than our legal piece of it, review, there's nothing involved with us, right?
It's just permission.
Right.
That's my understanding.
And I guess we qualify that permission, is that something that the board can offer, or is that something that has to go to a town meeting?
I think you do that.
Is this on the tax maps now as one lot or as 3 individual lots? As one?
One
But you're
lot.
gonna subdivide it into 3 lots? So we're gonna have 3 different taxable parcels of property
So how did we get
versus the
3
one?
buildings on one lot?
Possibly not paying attention would be my guess. But the town has acknowledged it, and they send separate tax bills. One goes to Jim and one goes to Margaret. So I'm just trying to get things squared away, Dennis, you know.
What a tangled web we weave. Well, we don't need to answer that now. I think we just need to know going forward if that's something that,
Actually, I think that's probably in our ordinance. No, that's foreclosed property ordinance. I don't know that it is in the charter.
this is
not a
I mean, this is
foreclosure.
land that we don't even know that we own, that we don't even know that we have approved.
Yeah.
And I would guess that it would be a quitclaim deed that the state would prepare,
Right.
meaning
Yeah.
that if you have any rights, which you do, but we don't want to go through all that trying to convince you that you have right title and interest, then you're gonna, by just quitclaiming it, it just
So
takes.
the deeds are really gonna be from the state to,
No, well,
No,
I'm
it would have
not.
to
I'm
be-
not sure. The state may end up quitclaiming any interest they have, along with the town of Waterboro.
it'd be nice that if we had a piece of document that said that we owned it. But other than.
They swear up and down that you do.
Well, we'll get something to that effect from that.
County's gotta have something over there.
Well, what they're
When they
saying,
conveyed
is
it.
if the county did something, well, who knows what the county
Right.
sometimes does, they just,
Yeah,
hey, this sounds like a good idea.
yeah, right, yeah, you're right.
Is your client willing to
No.
help with any legal expenses here? Have you had that
If-
discussion?
I have not had that discussion, but I would think that he would be, as long as it's not, you know.
Is there any encumbrances here regarding, it looks like part of this is a railroad line? Is that, am I reading this right?
Yeah, the old
No.
railroad.
Behind that went behind the property, right?
I don't know, it looks like there's a piece that goes right across where it says old BW line.
No, that's old right-of-way line. That's the.
Oh,
this
that's
is-
right of way,
That's
okay,
right of way,
that's not
and it goes.
railroad, okay,
On Steve's,
oh, okay, all
on
right.
Steve's drawing, down at the very bottom, it says formerly Boston and Maine Railroad.
Yeah, that's,
So
Right.
that is the old railroad bed.
That's the old railroad. Bed.
okay. All right, that's probably where I get mixed up there.
Which should be turned into an ATV
Well,
trail.
I guess,
by the way.
I guess we're amenable to moving forward. I'm not sure that we need to take a vote on that.
Well, I wouldn't go any farther than concept and further investigation.
So we'll see what we got.
So can you write a letter to Pete Belanger and just saying that you give excuse me, that you give permission for them to go forward? Because he won't do anything without a letter from the town.
Well, does the board wish to take a vote at this time in concept or to actually go forward with transferring the land?
Well,
By quickly.
I'm not in favor of that without legal review. I'm with Tammy on that. I think that, I don't want to open us up to some liability in the future. I mean, we don't even know, as you said, whether or not we actually own this. It's by the wisp of someone's wand over it.
But if you're asking, I guess the question is the state is saying they need permission from the town to at least pursue resolution or whatever they're gonna call it.
Correct.
I don't see any harm in us saying, okay, do the research and you'll do what you gotta do.
Yeah, the
Should
concept,
the
but
state
that,
request us?
But before we approve,
before we sign anything.
Well, yeah,
Before
the
we sign it,
approval
we're
will
gonna have
be
to have-
at closing, when you sign the deed.
Right.
And that would be the ultimate
the
approval.
risk he takes is that we give him an approval to go ahead and then something goes south and.
Right.
But if the state needs that, shouldn't they be the ones that are requesting it? I mean,
But it's
the
not
state.
the state's land, is what they're telling me. It's the town's land.
Mr. Joyce needs this, not the state.
Right.
But Mr. Belanger, at the state level, needs something to say, I'm gonna put my time and effort into this, I would need to know that the town of Waterboro is a willing participant.
If it's gonna be a quick claim deed, there's not a lot of time,
I agree.
So,
Maybe a conversation between you and Mr. Belanger
okay.
might resolve that.
think we might have to go to town meeting on it, because we're conveying property that's owned by the town
But we
to
don't, you
a
know,
private citizen.
I agree, but we don't know that we own it, but
Yeah,
maybe a conversation with Natalie as we enter this too.
Why don't I talk to Mr. Belanger first,
Okay.
bring in Natalie and you as needed. You and I stay in touch through the whole process and come back here in 2 weeks.
You do have all
Okay.
these interesting little projects going on.
I do. I get the good ones.
You attract stuff.
Thanks.
Like finding houses in other towns and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was involved in that, too.
oh, yeah.
All right, guys, thanks.
Thanks.
Talk to you soon, probably.
Oh, yeah.
How did you ever make out with the taxation thing with Limerick on that?
Was it Limerick or
Or
Leamington?
Leamington,
How did
whatever.
I make out?
No, how did he make out? Just out of curiosity.
I really haven't spoken with him much since that happened, but I think it's, I think the town of Leamington has just said, oh, okay. I don't think he never, or he never got a building permit reissued from the town of Leamington. And he says things are fine, but that's Eric, you know?
Oh, well.
Don't get Steve going telling stories.
Say Liberty.
Okay. Let's move on to item D. Discuss the vote to accept a resignation from the Waterboro Community Garden Committee from Bridget McGowan.
I will move that we accept the resignation.
Do I have a second?
I was second with regret.
Okay. Been moved and seconded to accept the resignation. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed?
And, Mr. Chairman, did we do Leo? We had a letter from Leo from EDC.
Leo just said that he was not going to renew.
His
That's
term would
not a
expire.
resignation.
There you go. Yep, okay, good.
So I don't think we
Thank you.
need to act on that, right? Nope. Okay, item E, discuss vote whether or not to approve a quitclaim deed.
And this is just paid taxes?
This was old, what is it, 79 and 80
Yeah.
in there? This came through the registry to Julie, I assume. And it just needs to be cleaned up. So, certainly seems in order to.
So what's your pleasure?
That was paid in full, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve the quitclaim deed?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? So be it. Next item. Discuss vote whether or not to approve amended library bylaws. Do we have the bylaws?
Well, yes, we do.
I know they were in the packet. Final version.
I've been through this with the library.
So you're making a motion to...
And I would, unless Gary has any concerns in any part of it, I would move that we accept it.
Okay,
We followed Natalie's
That's
lead
right.
on this.
okay. It's been moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded to accept the bylaw changes submitted. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. All right, we're gonna jump into old business now. And we're gonna talk about the very thorough letter that was put out by the town administrator.
Just grab your new version there of, I left for you tonight. Julie and I didn't have time last Friday to do this together. She went through it, caught some other things, some of them rounding up, rounding down, some of them more substantive, and she looked further into the future than I did about some of these things that would probably be going over. We might as well handle tonight or 2 weeks from tonight. So, starting right at the top, I just did red ink of $1,000 or more as a starting place. If you want to go below that or above that, that's fine. The first one was in the retirement account under general government. Remember when we did this budget a year and a half ago, in midstream there, the town contribution went from 4.1% to 6.5%. So That's the reason I think absolutely every retirement line in the whole budget this fiscal year is over. Hopefully that will be the last time that happens. So there is a recommended transfer of $1,850 from the travel line up to the retirement line for that. Go ahead and stop me with questions. Other than that, I'll
No, keep rolling it,
So-
because we're not gonna get into the wordsmithing of this. I think we'll,
General government tax billing account, we paid somebody to put an extra sheet of paper in all those bills. That is fairly costly. That's most of that, maybe not all. Insurance accounts, and since this is annually out of sync, maybe we need to have a cushion there. A 10 to 15% minimum anyway cushion every year for your property casualty, workman's comp, that obviously I'm not budgeting enough for, many months before we get the increases.
do we do workman's comp? Is it on a month-to-month basis, or I know that there's an estimated, some insurance companies will set up an account that says this is what you expect your workman's comp to be, and at the end of the year there's an audit and you go back and adjust any of that. Are we doing that like live, or are we doing it?
Well, we sometimes get money back.
This is the
But you
first
come
year
on up
that,
and sit in front of the mic there, Julie, so either that or stand.
This is the first year that we've really got a bill on the matter. We pay quarterly, it's reported right to Maine Municipal, and yes, we do get an audit, and from
Okay, so
there.
all they audit is our annual salaries,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And if it was if it was more than what the estimate was, then we owe them money. If it was less than that, then
we get a refund.
We get a refund, okay. So I'm not sure that we would gain anything by playing with it. I mean, other than you've got projections of what the salaries are gonna be next year.
And I think we need to do a better job with that, since
Well-
we've got one new fire department position, if that still stands.
So I think that's gonna be the key. Right now, unfortunately, you already pegged a number going into town meeting,
Right.
and I don't know if that number agrees with all the estimated changes that might happen at town meeting, but I guess that's really the key, right? Rather than buffering it with additional money.
You don't know
let's
if you're
just
gonna
make
get somebody hurt, too.
Right, let's just make sure that it's all, I mean, you're not gonna,
There's too
you're
many
running
variables.
the expectation that nobody's gonna get hurt, right?
Right.
So, I would do that rather than buffering it. I mean, we're not gonna do anything in this budget. So, we're gonna make this adjustment and go from there.
Yep.
IT department?
Just to finish up the insurance, I'm saying that could come from the legal budget, that
Yeah.
transfer there.
Okay.
IT department, several things here. The two bullets, I missed last week. The health insurance line, David's been properly using that health reimbursement account through our third party, and that's up. His contract changed midstream here, so along with salary bump, longevity bonus, and furlough days elimination, that contributed to that salary line. Most probably, definitely will be over at end of year. It's just a little under $1,000 overspent now.
So my question, and having gone through this when Eco Maine made the transfer to health savings accounts and whatnot, there was X amount of dollars put into the health savings account budget, the overall budget, for people that were gonna now come back and look to that account to pay them or reimburse them, right? Because of the high deductible and all that good stuff. Did we not do that?
Well, we've been doing it. The way we've done it is we kept the same $9,000 in the individual departments, so we can tell what people are coming back and using that reimbursable
Yeah, but
process.
you'd know that anyway. If you had an account that was for reimbursement accounts.
And I think we should change to that. I would like to pull all the health insurance out of every department and put it in one line.
Well, I think you gotta at least account for it, but I guess my point is that we made a fundamental change that went to health savings accounts, right? Because of what we were gonna pay for insurance. There was a savings associated with that.
Yes.
We should have taken some of that savings, stuck it into account for people that were gonna access that account for health reimbursements, right?
Since we already had account numbers in those departmental lines for health insurance, we used that one. But I like your suggestion better going forward, starting next year.
Yes.
There is, you're both right, and I know that's convoluted, but you're both
Well,
right.
I know I'm right, but that's,
I won't touch that. When you get to this week's expense report, if you look at your health lines, you'll see some departments have money left. So if that was all in one fund, then that would be like what Gary'd like. And what we've got, the money is there, but it's in somebody else's line.
So
Not everybody's used
but if
it.
we went into one account,
Yes,
you could then sub-account all the departments within that account, right? There'd
Right.
be one lump sum for all of the health insurance, and then be it general government, be it treasurer, be it whomever, right, is gonna have a sub-account to that, so that we could at least peg a number to, okay, here's general government, and oh, by the way, in the insurance pool, they represent X amount of dollars, right? I mean, it's just an account.
so you're talking like a do from, like we have in other
Yeah,
accounts.
but I'm not sure you have to get into that.
Deep.
All I'm saying is you when you add up all of those sub-accounts, it's gonna equal a number.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, it does.
But don't you think we can do that? We budgeted monies in this proposed budget to the tune of about $9,000 per person. We can still hold to that line, but partition that out to premium costs versus HRA monies.
Yes.
I think
Without violating the law.
I think, you know, and I'm surprised that, well, maybe Chris will bring that up, but I think you have to have a health reimbursement account that shows that, hey, this is what money you, I mean, if you start with zero, you're gonna overdraw it, right? Because people are gonna pull money out of that health reimbursement account. So whether we take bits and pieces and put it all in there, and I guess that's what I would do from a transfer perspective.
Would this be, all right, looking forward to 2017 budget, we set up a health and reimbursement line that's gonna show red. And when we come to this time of year, we go back to the lines and move it from where it should be.
Well, I guess you can do that. I think if you plan that you're gonna have some buffer, okay? And the real savings when you go to all of that is you pay the lower premium, and people didn't pull all that money back out, right?
Right.
And I think when EcoMaine did it, they took the difference between the savings that they were gonna make and put it in they just budgeted in that account.
Okay.
So that first year, it was gonna cost them the same amount of money as it did the year before. Then they had that health reimbursement account fund established.
So you'll be taking just the premium.
So the premium would be budgeted in the following year, and they would work down that,
Gotcha.
and they would know, okay, we gotta put another 10% in it, or we gotta put another 40% in it, or something. Unfortunately, every time you do that, that's more administration, and that's.
Yeah, but it's cleaner, I think. We need to make that change.
All right, we beat that up.
I guess the second red bullet in here, the retirement line, just like other retirement lines, is gonna be over 1,000. So I'm recommending we transfer 1,050 from the municipal buildings heat to there.
Yeah.
Moving on to code enforcement.
Can we back up just a little bit?
Sure.
You said that this was as a result of a midterm or mid.
The first bullet in red there, Gordon?
No, the IT problem was created by a contract renegotiation in the middle of this.
That's right.
Is this going to be a reoccurring event because it's dated, or are we going to align all our...
Did we extend that to June 30th?
Yeah, we did. We realigned it.
So we realigned it now, so it's not going to happen.
I think that's the discussion that we had. It was contracts between you and David, but I think they were realigned to finish up on June 30th. Right?
So this won't be a recurring thing because of a contract thing?
It has been in February, well, between February and before that, December, for past years, but this time we lined it up with the fiscal year, so we wouldn't have to.
So
do
it shouldn't be a
big
problem
Okay.
after this.
Okay.
Yeah, no problems after this.
No questions, code enforcement. Glenn's been working about an hour or an hour and a half a week over his 36 hours. Part of that's planning board, part of that's inspections. I've asked him to do, the best he can in taking that time off during the week and not working over. And I'm not happy that this is over this amount. I do know that he's working a lot of hours that we're not paying him for. He gets up early, he comes in, and he knows that he cannot put that down in his timesheet. And that's up to him to continue to do that. If that's his work ethic, that's great. But we're going to have to tighten this up, some more next year, because even though it's valid work that he's doing, it's got to be put in the 36 hours of the week.
If it's work that he's doing, he has to report that.
I
Yeah.
told him that,
Okay.
but we also have limits to what
under
we
the
can pay.
federal labor laws.
Understand.
Yeah. If he
But
works, he's got to be paid for it
If he's,
too.
if he's here, we
Did we
deal with
increase
him.
his time last year?
No, we increased it a year ago to 36.
Yep.
Just while we're on the CEO portion, I don't know if anybody's been by Ladder Auto Sales lately, but that place is cleaned up. It is looking good. There's no junk in the front. There's like maybe 3-4 cars out front and a couple out back. The lawn's coming back in. It looks really good.
Well, he's been working with Victor to try and get him back into the planning board so he can have a larger number up there legally and have a few to fix up and more to sell. He doesn't have enough in the permission that came with the property, I guess, to have a business there, to have enough cars to make a go of it.
Well, Fredette owned that beforehand, right?
Yeah, we
I
still
know that
haven't
was
got
that was
our
a blight
legal
on
money.
North Waterboro, but it isn't now, so.
We haven't got our legal money back from Victor yet, but that's another thing. Number 6, recreation. Blame this on me, in part on me, because both Mike and I cut this line by $4,500 last year, and obviously the reasoning was not sound. So, staying within recreation, I'm pulling $1,500 from 3 accounts to make that line up.
But they're all coming out of recreation accounts.
That's correct. That's the other thing. Remember, I can switch monies within the department. I need your permission to do it from one department to the other. And if you want to give me a maximum within a department, that's what the charter allows for. If you want me to not do anything that's over a certain amount, you need to state that, and I'm fine with whatever you want to set. Planning department, item 7 here, health.
Can I get you to stop just a second?
Yep.
Because you haven't got the newest report. You still have 3 more weeks of bills. And right now, if you go with the $4,500, that's only going to give him $74 to spend for the rest of the year. He is now $44,27.59 overexpended as of this week.
He needs to stop spending.
Well, this account needs to stop being used. He knows that. So.
But that's if you want it to be safe, it's up. You folks are the bosses, but I just want to let you know that that's where it is right now, as of today's warrants.
Sounds like Gary needs to put the kibosh on some spending.
Yeah. Take care of that. Put that in the back.
I've done that already, and I'll do it again.
Sorry, but I just didn't want it to fall through the cracks.
Item 7, planning. Same thing with health insurance there. To move $2,500 from the salaries line down to the health insurance line.
We got plenty of money from Chuck's, right?
Yes. Unfortunately, the EDC has not been as active as we all might have liked.
Yeah.
Fire department on the bottom. Retirement account overspent like the other reasons up above. It looks like per diem may have that and more left over. It could be a little tight, but that's where Matt was suggesting it come from. The other item on the top of the next side of the sheet of paper here, repairs and maintenance. Remember, we purposely overspent to get that turnout gear for new call members and worn out gear. And we're suggesting the solutions there, $1,500 from per diem, $5,000 from gas and diesel, and since Friday, the new red ink in here, that $12,000 vehicle repair insurance check we got was applied to this line. So there is enough funds in there for the $10,869 in red to be transferred in the way I've suggested here.
Okay.
Health and sanitation, major repairs to the compactors, put that line over, and we can take $3,000 from the vehicle repairs line, still within the transfer station budget, and hopefully that'll be enough through June 30 with any other bills. I don't know of any other breakdowns recently, so hopefully that will truly take care of it. Now to the big one, number 11 in Public Works, to make up the plow budget overage. I've got 7 bullets there in terms of how to make up the $82,017. You'll see the first bullet there, a change from last Friday. Instead of taking it from crushing, I misunderstood what Doug was saying. We're going to suggest down below that $10,000 from crushing go over to the salt shed funds line, which is in the trio budget. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. I'm suggesting the first bullet come from the CIP buildings account, which has $109,000. Remember, 68 of that is for the roof that's about to start here. We had another 24 that was carried forward for the siding next door, and I think we should probably wait to see if there's any surprises on the roof, to see if we put the siding out to bid next door and actually do that. Sand and salt account, no reason we can't drain that down for $53,000. 3 from gas and diesel, 1,000 from DPW heat we did not use, 10,000 from general assistance with a mild winter and some different people. I guess we're blessed with less spending there. A couple grand from the comp plan 2020 account to drain that, and then the $3,017 from York County taxes makes up the plowing. And that was our goal, is to not have to have a special town meeting, and this is one solution to do that anyway.
Yeah, and I think you could find all that money within his budget, but that's another discussion. If there's other money around, like the general assistance, that's fine, but...
You could certainly not do some things that he's planning on doing now in terms of paving. And I'm certainly open to other avenues here.
But I think if we've got the money elsewhere and we can still get all of the paving and everything that needs to be done road-wise, I'd rather see us do the work and utilize money that we weren't going to spend anyways.
Yep. Well, that's why I used the whole 53 from the sand and salt account. I mean, I guess historically we filled the salt shed at the end of in the springtime. Well, that's fine. We're just going to have to move it.
There is a charge of sand. I was down there today, and actually down there the other day too. There is a ton of sand in the current.
Yeah, we used probably 2/3 of that pile, so a mild winter. Number 12, DPW building account. I'm saying transfer from toilets and a little bit from salaries to make that one up. Then 3 new items, actually, the salt shed. And if you go to, you don't have your trio report up, I've got it right here. The things we've done in the salt shed, we haven't actually drawn money on that loan, although it's available. The large excavator, the extra large dump truck, some of the other things we've done. We spent $46,000 toward the salt shed already, some engineering in there too. And we can pay that off at any time from that $700,000 loan. But I wouldn't mind buffering that with this $10,000 like I've suggested here, because we've got to bring power over. We've got some other expenses, and I don't want this project to go over 700. And I've told Doug that repeatedly. We can't do that. So this is a way that I think passes the smell test, since we're going to use a ton of gravel, several tons of gravel, no pun intended. If you're okay with it, I'm taking $10,000 from the crushing. We'll set up to crush in late June, and then keep crushing right into early July for whatever town meeting allows for the crushing budget, which at the moment is proposed for $43,000. We get one good storm, we don't have enough gravel right now. If you've driven down into that pit, we're essentially out. So we do need quite a bit. No comments there, then let's move on to the patrol. And this is something that I've talked with the county manager at length, and I think we need to monitor that. Julie and I had a conversation today. This is the first year we've been tagged for this accrued time. I understand the concept that the commissioners don't want to pay anything for a contract deputy. But how are we going to monitor this so that next year, if Sean doesn't use all this time and he still is there, I don't want to be paying for this again. So we have to make sure, darn sure, a year from now that we only pay for additional accrued time from what we didn't reimburse last year.
What do we have for a contract issue? I mean, if we've got a contract from those guys, and it was for, say, $110,000, that's all we should pay them.
Yeah,
Agree.
I agree. I agree.
That's it, done.
They need
End
to.
of the story.
They need to plan accordingly. I mean, it's just like last year. They tried to get some additional monies from us last year, correct?
Oh, this is the same issue.
Okay.
Right, so I would tell them that, hey, if you want that accrual stuff, you put a number in the contract. But right now, we have a contract with you for $110,000 or whatever the number is.
And that's what we budgeted.
Okay, that's it. There's no more.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement with that.
That's what I said to Gary too.
Huh?
That's what I agreed with what
They're
you
gonna
guys
nickel
said.
dime to get you, you know, he's trying to polish a third. I mean, you know, I'm my expression.
I mean, this wasn't an emergency
I'm sorry.
that came up. This was something that they oversaw in creating their contract, and then they're asking us to pay for it.
This is something the commissioners saw that the county was paying for and they didn't want to pay for it anymore.
Yeah, well,
This was many months ago.
But
next
so
year,
then they've already got
you
it
know,
on their
change the
books as a
contract next year.
liability.
Right. So they've got a contract, we got a contract.
That's it.
That's it.
Good in theory.
Well, what are they gonna do? What's the county gonna do?
I tell them.
What they're doing, they want to bill us. They want us to pay that.
We wanna pay them.
No, and I would be adamantly opposed to paying it. We've negotiated a contract in good faith, and it's up to them to honor that good faith contract. If it doesn't meet the specifications that they outline, then what they've got to do is incorporate that figure in next year's contract for us to evaluate, so that we can present that to the people at town meeting for the proper vote.
Exactly.
Okay, and here's another thing to look at, working with your payroll here for our folks with their vacation and sick time. You're carrying that year to year as a liability. It's already there, so they should already have Sean's prior accruals already
Yeah, well,
set in a
Right.
slush fund.
You're not getting them back, right? So they're building up, they're double dipping, basically, is what they're doing.
Well, we just want to make sure they don't double dip on us.
Well, then the answer is very simple, no.
Yeah.
We go back to the fine print of the contract and see if I can still stand on that now, and I'll get back to you. I guess.
Well, I think you stand on the no and let them come back with a fine print of the contract.
Your bosses have spoke, Gary.
I've heard it loud and clear. Full steam ahead.
So you want us to, entertain a motion to approve
Yeah, I think
Gary's
that would-
recommendations
that would
here?
be
We'll
good.
put that on the books tonight.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion on that? All those in favor? So go ahead and do those, and if we got one more meeting that
Yep.
something comes up, you can bring back.
So I will post these with your approval, this journal entry, and before I print out your next report.
Okay, so my other question, which I sent to you,
Sent to me? You putting it me?
yeah,
The question from what?
okay, the ambulance fund revenues
Yes?
were under on one and over on the other. Those have to be reconciled, right?
Okay, right now, the budget is set up with your revenues, is what the town voted on is coming to our municipal budget before it goes to the fire department.
Right, so the journal, there was, under the leases, right?
If the money hasn't.
We're
Right.
showing that we are $36,355 under the budgeted revenue. This is as of whatever it was, 2 weeks ago's number,
I can move
right?
that because.
We had 23,255 over budget in public safety revenues. So that's gotta go into the lease, right?
Yep,
And then anything else that comes in goes into the lease.
gotcha.
And based on the run rate, it looks like we'll certainly meet the $212,000 commitment. We committed to use $212,000 of ambulance revenue into those two buckets,
I understand what you want.
okay?
Yeah.
And we're not gonna dig around with overlay, right?
I didn't. I thought you didn't want me to do that.
No, I mean, it does, we never have. It was 300, well, we didn't budget 300,000, what did we budget? 100 and some odd thousand dollars in overlay, and the tax rate was 49. I guess my other comment would be, if we're gonna
60.
show we're gonna show the outs, we should show the ins.
Well, 60 minus your big ones.
62.
I guess the ins are part of the total tax commitment, right?
I mean, minus your supplementals.
So,
It's gonna be tighter this year because of the plowing one, no question about it. So,
yeah, but it's not like we didn't know it was coming.
right.
All right. I'm gonna shut my computer off. All right. Pending decisions, I'm sorry, voted, approved minutes of the May 24th meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Pending decisions, comprehensive plan list and the ordinance list, we've got to put in there. Action plan, I got, action items. I'm gonna touch base with Natalie over this Route 202 thing.
Yeah, I'll talk to People Angel first.
Yeah, yeah. And next agenda items.
While you got him on the phone, we ought to find out about that inspection they did too.
I sent him a note and he didn't reply.
Yeah, they inspect them all right.
Yeah, so I'll have to follow up with a phone call. 'Cause
I think
I
you're
don't
gonna
think there was a
find-
report done.
I think you're gonna find somebody drives out there, takes a few pictures,
Yeah, that's basically what,
and write a report.
So this is my
it
wife's.
says, we'll let you know if it's in poor condition.
Oh, really?
Well, my thinking is, let's never let it get to poor condition.
You might. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Signature items are coming in when
We can't leave.
Huh?
We can't leave. Gary's got to have us sign some paper he forgot to bring in.
All those in favor?
You're here.
Opposed?